I'm excited to introduce and welcome to the show Lauren Horowitz, or Bird as she is often known. She's a screenwriter and a novelist, lucky enough to call both Los Angeles and Kauai home. Bird also counts herself lucky that writing exists as a profession. How else would she share the crazy, fantastic worlds in her head? She studied writing at Harvard University with novelist Jamaica Kincaid, where she won several prizes, including the Edward Eager Memorial Prize for Fiction. She's a proud member of the Writers Guild of America, and she's written the first of 3 books will be called the Light Trilogy. The first book is called Shattered Blue. This is young adult fiction that you're going to absolutely love. Bird, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Now, are you in LA today or are you in Hawaii?
Today I am in LA. Yeah, I've been kind of going all over the place. I was in Kauai for the release, but now I'm back here in LA.
So in Kauai, it would be 3:30 in the morning, so I'm glad to hear that you're on the West Pacific coast here in the continental U.S.
Absolutely. But you know what? For you, Aaron, I would have gotten up at 3.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So tell us about Shattered Blue.
Well, Shattered Blue is about a teenage heroine named Noah who falls for this mysterious guy, Callum, who turns out to be a magical being, a fae, who has been banished from his world for criminal acts. But before you think you know where the story's going, I can make a personal author promise to you that it will twist and turn in ways that you cannot imagine. So the two, the heroine and the hero and the more characters get caught up between worlds and becomes really a great supernatural adventure.
Now, I have to ask, we think of Twilight and the Hunger Games and some of these other teen fiction, young adult fiction. Is this as gripping as those are?
Oh, yeah. I definitely, want to honor the spirit of the YA trilogy, the beloved YA trilogy, and hopefully I get to add something a little bit new as well. I come from a poetic background, and the heroine Noah is actually a poet. That's the way she expresses herself. And so some of her poetry is actually interwoven into the narrative. So you get a good mix of, the adventure and also a little bit more image-based, metaphor-based language. So I hope that comes through.
Now, is Noah then introduced to this new world that Callum is a part of? Does she get to know what that world is like?
Yes, it is the first of the trilogy, so she doesn't actually go there yet, I will say. But she becomes introduced to the entire world, the history of the world, and definitely meets more than one fae who she has, some of them have already actually been a part of her life and she didn't even know it. And Callum is involved with, he has some family members that show up in unexpected places as well.
Now, are the faes dangerous?
They are dangerous. They have to exist in the mortal world by living off of light, which is something that all mortal people have. We all have it. It's our potential for future happiness. And in order for fae to use their magical powers in this world, they actually have to take light from mortals. So it creates quite a complication for Callum and Noah.
Oh, I bet it does. I bet it does. Is this your first? I know you've written before and you've won awards. Is this your first young adult fiction?
It is.
First foray into young adult fiction.
It certainly is, but I have to say that as a reader, and I am an avid reader, my heart has always kind of been in the young adult space. I just love the trilogies, the dystopian trilogies, even, going all the way back to A Wrinkle in Time when I was very small. I just, there's something about appealing to that audience of the young adult who's really trying to find their own place in the world, which personally, I feel like that journey never stops because I'm not technically a young adult anymore, but wow, I still feel like I'm trying to find my place in the world. So yeah, it really speaks to me.
I agree.
I think that's why that genre is really taking off so much. Ever since Harry Potter, they found out that not only do the young adults like to read it, but the young at heart adults like to read it too. And it's just it's usually quick reads and lots of fun.
And absolutely, and the magical element in a lot of these series, and I hope in the Light trilogy as well, it really just becomes a metaphor for something that everybody goes through. You might not encounter fae, but certainly when you're growing up into the world, you encounter new and different things that you have to kind of change your perspective and learn how to acclimate and decide how to pick what you want to be a part of your world as you grow up.
So tell me about as a writer, do you feel like you have a relationship with Noah? How did you get to know her through the writing process? What was that like?
Oh, gosh. Noah is so close to my heart. As a, high school student, as a young girl, I also wrote poetry. I wrote stories. I wrote all the time. I felt like that's where I could really express myself. And for Noah, she calls herself a secret writer, and that's where she is most herself. And part of her journey is about how do you become that person inside yourself for everybody in the world? And how does she become that poetic version of herself in the whole world who's adventurous and brave and falls in love? And that is something I definitely identify with. And she was actually the starting point where I came up with the novel, where I really wanted to look at a young adult who was a writer. We see a lot of songwriters, we see a lot of aspiring actors, but we don't see a lot of, poets. And it's just kind of a new way to go through that idea of a young person trying to become the creative spirit that they are.
So it takes tremendous courage to put yourself out there, and more courage than your average 16-year-old has. What was that process like for her? I imagine that she's hidden it first, and then she comes out as the book progresses. Or maybe she doesn't. So talk about that a little bit.
Well, it's actually a pretty big thread in the novel. She kind of reluctantly and almost accidentally shares one of her poems that Callum figures out is hers, and that's one of the things that brings them together. But she's a survivor, and her family has just lost one of, her older sister has just died. And right now in her journey, she's really trying to take care of everyone, and that means putting her own needs second. And that actually plays out in a really interesting way with her poetry. I don't want to give away too much, but... Yeah,
don't give away too much. We want people to buy the book.
Yeah.
So
it's such a safe because it's part of her journey, and she's on the journey to kind of share that part of herself with the world, but she's certainly not there yet.
So I'm on your website, which is beautiful, by the way. And
thank you so much.
And I see that you have shattered blue jewelry. Talk about that a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I'm so glad you asked me about that. So there's a fantastic jewelry designer named Zoe Cope. She's actually part of two companies. One is called Birds and Bones Jewelry, and one is called Zoe Cope Jewelry. And she hand makes the most exquisite pieces of jewelry, usually worked in metal, silver, bronze, things like that. I reached out to her because I was such a fan of her work. And, I told her about the novel, and she read it, and she got really inspired, and we decided that together she wanted to present a capsule collection inspired by the novel. So she actually is doing a shattered blue necklace, which is a piece of her geode work, which is a necklace that actually looks like it's made up of shattered blue crystals. Really quite beautiful. And she's making several pieces of jewelry that are inspired by pieces in the novel that play very pivotal plot roles, one of which is a bracelet that Noah wears, and another one is a ring that another character has.
Cool. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Really neat.
I'm very excited.
I bet.
I'm all about the artist collaboration. I think it's just so great when it kind of multiplies,
Well,
a lot of fun when you get to kind of work with somebody else and share the ideas and get excited together about something.
Absolutely.
Well, and when there's some young adult fiction, you becomes part of you. You wear it on your heart, and so this is a way to wear it on your body as well. So how can people find your books and follow you on social media?
Oh, well, so I'm all over social media. You can follow me on Instagram, which is probably where I'm most active. My name is Bird Eileen, BirdAileen. That's the same as my Twitter name, Bird Eileen. I have a Facebook author page under Lauren Bird Eileen Horowitz, where we're currently running a huge giveaway for many items, including all of the shattered blue jewelry, digital camera, gift card, all in honor of the publication day. And I have my website, laurenbirdhorowitz.com, which has a lot of fun stuff about the book, about my other work, and tons of opportunity for fan input. So you can send me your work, you can send me your art, and I post it up there, and it's very interactive.
So before I let you go, I want to read some of the praise that's been given for Shattered Blue. AJ from Coffee Ink Tales wrote, I abruptly fell in love with the writer and poet. Andrea Heltzley, she's an author, wrote, Shattered Blue is all sorts of awesome. 5 glittery stars for being a phenomenal read. D from the Bookworm blog said, I love the poetry. This book is amazing, and wow. So everybody's got to get this book. I can't wait to read it.
Oh, I'll send you over a signed copy for sure, Erin.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you for joining us today. And, as you move to the process of writing the next segment of the trilogy, we'd love to have you back.
Absolutely. You got it. It's a date.
Awesome. Awesome. So we've been talking with Lauren Bird Horowitz. So Bird Horowitz, she's a screenwriter, written the first of a trilogy called Shattered Blue. Got to get out there and get it. Young adult fiction or people who are young at heart, you're going to love it.